Hey YouTube, Kieran's Week here, bringing you guys my Watt family Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile for July 2018. But I wanted to bring you guys an update to this deck for quite some time. For those of you that don't know, I've done Watt family deck profiles for as long as I can remember on my channel. I just really love the combination of the Watt monsters with the Thunder family monsters running the deck, just for combos you can get off with all the different Thunder level 4 light monsters you run, and they just all work very well together in the deck. And we've gotten quite a good amount of different level 4 light Thunder monsters to add some variety to the deck as well. So I thought an update was due definitely for the deck. So let's go ahead and jump right into the deck profile. So to start off, for the Thunder family, I run 3 Maw Hunter. For those of you who don't know, the Thunder family all revolves around different effects with normal summoning. And with Maw Hunter, once per turn, you can normal summon one level 4 light Thunder type monster from your hand, except Maw Hunter as an additional normal summon. So Maw Hunter and Paw Hunter both share the same normal summon effects. So with Maw Hunter being able to normal summon Paw Hunter, then Paw Hunter being able to normal summon again, you just have that Field Sworn option, which definitely does come in handy with the deck. So 3 Maw Hunter and 3 Paw Hunter are definite staples for the deck. That's why I run 3 of each. So with being able to normal summon, you have options for link summoning, exceed summoning, since they're all level 4s. The options of what plays you want to do are definitely laid out in front of you with this easy Field Swarm and not having to special summon. Very helpful with all these monsters you run. And I don't think I've done a deck profile involving Bro Hunter yet, so I run 3 Bro Hunter as well. When this card is normal summon, you can add 1 level 4 light Thunder type monster from your deck to your hand, except for Bro Hunter. So you have options to search for whatever you need, whether it be the Thunder family monsters, or you can add your Watt monsters for the direct attack plays, which is a very key part of the deck, or you can even add some of the other tech cards we're running, like Denko Saka, which we'll get to in a bit, or even Lightning Rod Lord. All the search options available to you with Bro Hunter whenever you normal summon this card. So getting it off the additional normal summon with Paw or Maw definitely does help for search for cards you can use in the turns to follow. And then for the Watt cards that we run in the deck, I run 3 Watt Cobra. I run the level 4 Watt monsters in this deck just because they complement the Thunder family so well with their own abilities. With Watt Cobra, this card can attack your opponent directly. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent by a direct attack, add 1 Watt monster from your deck to your hand. And remember, with Watt Cobra, you can also search off another Watt Cobra to normal summon next turn and attack directly again. So you're just dwindling down your opponent for that attack direct damage each and every time, and the more Watt Cobras you add, the more deadly it gets each and every time. And if you have Maw or Paw on the field for those additional normal summons, you can just get the Watt Cobras out that much faster. So they all play very, very well together. And I have 3 Watt Pheasant in the deck as well. I want to run 2 Watt Pheasant and 1 Watt Giraffe. I just don't have any Watt Giraffe, sadly, at the moment. Watt Pheasant, when it attacks your opponent directly and inflicts battle damage to your opponent by a direct attack, you select 1 face-up monster on the field and remove it from play until the end phase of the turn. I love getting rid of pesky Exceed monsters, obviously, with Exceed material, but you can also screw up your opponent's Link arrows with Link monsters now by removing them from play, and then wherever they have to get placed again, if they're in the extra monster zone, if they get placed in the main monster zone, can definitely mess up what they were planning to do with those Link monsters. So Watt Pheasant definitely does come in handy there. And for those of you who don't know what Watt Giraffe does, when it inflicts battle damage to your opponent by a direct attack, your opponent can activate any other card effects for the rest of the turn. So you don't have to worry about anything come main phase 2, trap card wise, monster effect wise. They're stuck. So you can set up your field, you can set up your back row, and they won't get, twin twistered, anything like that. So very important to remember with Watt Giraffe. And that's it for the Thunder family and the Watt monsters. For the additional Thunder support, I run 2 Thunder Seahorse. Now, Thunder Seahorse does come in handy. You can't special summon, obviously, but being able to search out, whatever Thunder options you need for the deck definitely does help. And, being able to grab either 2 Maw Hunter or 2 Paw Hunter to use for your normal summons, definitely noteworthy and helpful thanks to Thunder Seahorse. And for the one-ofs, I run 1 Lightning Rod Lord. For this, neither player can activate spell cards during main phase 1. Now, this really screws up your opponent. That cards in decks like Gokis that need spell cards to really go off for some of their plays, like with rematch or stuff like that, Lightning Rod Lord shuts that down completely since they have to do it main phase 2 and takes over the battle phase. So if they had to do it that turn, you can just, come back next turn with a counter attack to get rid of those resources. And as long as you keep Lightning Rod Lord on the field, they basically, have to do it all over again next turn as well. So big key play with that card. And I also run 1 Denko Saka. Now, I run the one-ofs mostly because of Ties of the Brethren, which we'll get to in a bit, but they're searchable by Bro Hunter as well with that search, so remember that there. Denko Saka can't be special summoned, but other than that, very good for the lockdown with the deck for sure. But also remember, I would also run 1 Zap Mustang, which is a card that cannot be normal summoned. It must be special summoned by a card effect, so you have Ties of the Brethren right there. But it helps for the lockdown of your opponent because your opponent has to attack multiple times to gain the number of special summons they want to do. So Zap Mustang definitely does help in that situation. I would run 1 of it, and I would either take out the Denko Saka or one of the spell options, which I'll get to in a bit. But that's up to player preference there, because definitely running 1 Denko and 1 Lightning Rod Lord and 1 Zap Mustang definitely does help for those search options you want to do with the deck. And for the only non-Thunder monsters I run in the deck, 3 Honest. Now, all the monsters I run in the main deck are light monsters, so having this hand trap available to you whenever your opponent tries to swing into one of your weaker monsters, and then you just drop Honest, really does mess up a lot of their plans that they were probably hoping to do with their key plays. And just fearing Honest, and especially 3 of them, definitely, scary on their part. And that is it for the monsters. Moving on to spells, I run 3 Ties of the Brethren. Now, Ties of the Brethren does shut down your other special summons you were planning to do for the turn, but being open to all the different monsters you have, whether it be, Ma and Pa, and then, maybe some additional normal summons off of these effects as well. Very, very helpful there for that Field Swarm. 2,000 life points, definitely worth it. You can't attack, obviously, but if this is first turn, you get that field setup, you're ready to come next turn as long as you keep those monsters alive, which can be done by running cards like Messenger of Peace. I run 3 of this card. I always loved running this card in this deck. It is so helpful. You must pay 100 life points for each of your standby phases. If you cannot pay, the card is destroyed. All monsters with an attack 1,500 more or points or more cannot attack. Now, you can't attack with cards like, obviously, Thunder Seahorse, Lightning Rod Lord, or Denko Saka, but these cards are mostly here to either set up your plays or, just shut down your opponent for cards that they can't use. You can still attack with your Watt family cards, the Watts and the Thunder family, and your opponent can attack with their monsters. Cards like Gravity Bind and all that shut down levels, which can be avoided with Exceed monsters and Link monsters, but Messenger of Peace, 1,500 above, and they can't attack, and for 100 life points each turn, it's definitely worth it. This card saves you so many times from your opponent just ramming into your smaller Thunder monsters, and having 3 of them, just being able to open up 1, if they destroy it, come next turn, just set it all up again. They can only activate, destruction effects so much with this card for sure. And lastly, for these spells, 3 Recycling Batteries. These cards keep you ahead of the game for sure with others. Just being able to recycle your Thunders after you use them either for, Link Summon, Exceed Summon, add them back to your hand, re-normal summon them, attack directly with the ones you add back, or, just additional normal summon. This card definitely does come in handy. If you want to take one out for the Zap Mustang instead of, taking out Denko and leaving both Denko and Zap Mustang in the deck, you can run 2 as well, but just having those, easy recycling options with this card available to you definitely does help with the deck. And then for the traps, I run 2 Call of the Haunted. Now, I run Call of the Haunted so you can, get back cards like Lightning Rod Lord if you have to use it for an Exceed Summon, or any of the Thunder family, or direct attacks for sure with the Watt monsters. Just way too helpful in the deck for sure. And I also run 3 Threatening Roar. Now, I haven't used Threatening Roar in a deck profile forever, but with cards like Zap Mustang that limit your opponent on the special summons based on how many attacks they've done, with Threatening Roar, you can activate this card, and your opponent can't get any attacks because they can't conduct a battle phase, meaning they can't special summon off of Zap Mustang as well. So it's a very key play to run when you're using that card for the special summon. So remember that with the 3 Threatening Roar. Yes, it does also help by protecting your monsters, but it's a key play involving that monster that shuts down your opponent ever more. So definitely a 3 of in this deck, just because with Messenger of Peace and this, you'll have your shutdown, and hopefully you can get plenty of direct attacks with your Watt Pheasant and your Watt Cobra as well. And to finish up the traps, I run 2 Torrential Tribute. When you have just a couple monsters on the field, this board wipe card can definitely mess up your opponent. And also 2 Storming Mirror Force, just for returning cards on the field back to the hand or extra deck, depending on what monsters they were. If you didn't want to run the Torrential, you can also run Quaking Mirror Force, because putting your opponent's monsters face down means that it takes up, extra spaces on the field that they can't use monsters with, unless they want to fusion summon, of course. But, with your monsters attacking directly, you can still do that option and, go for game, knowing you're swinging right past your opponent's monsters. And then moving on to the extra deck, I run 1 Starliege Paladynamo. You need 2 level 4 light monsters to use this card, dropping your opponent's monsters down to 0, having a draw effect when it's destroyed. Just way too good not to run. Same with Bujinte Tsukuyomi. With this, basically replenish your hand. You can even set Call the Haunted, then send some of your other monsters to the graveyard with this card to make use of. And then for the other rank 4s, Gaga Cowboy. This card definitely does come in handy when you are, dwindling down your opponent. They could be down to the final life points, and Cowboy just comes in for game. Abyss Dweller, Tornado Dragon, and Castel to finish up a couple of the easier Exceed monsters to make. You can also run Baguska if you want to take out Castel and put that in instead. Also, 1 Stellar Knight Deltaros. With all the normal summons you can do with your Watt family monsters, this card very easy to make and very easy to make use of for sure. And then for the Link monsters, I run 1 Space Insulator for the minus. Definitely does come in handy, especially with lowering down some of your other monsters, like Danko being able to attack can also come in handy with Messenger of Peace. Proxy Dragon, Underclock Taker, and Nightmare Goblin are also monsters that can get around the Messenger of Peace and still being able to summon them, of course. And then for some of the bigger links, just to come in handy with their effects, Trisbana, Decode Talker. I like to run Beauregard in this deck over Load, just for the defensive plays it can do. And same goes for the Topologic Bomber Dragon with its destruction effect. They might not attack, since you're shutting them down with cards like Messenger of Peace, but you have their other effects to rely on, which is what I use the extra deck for mostly in this deck anyway. But yeah, that is it for the deck profile. It's definitely one of my favorite fun decks to play for sure. Definitely annoying for your opponent, but all the more fun for you. But I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. Once again, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And until next time, Kira Twig out.